Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 6th of July? Let's find out. July 6th may not always make the headlines, but this day has witnessed empires fall, musical legends rise, global conflicts shift, and some truly game-changing inventions hit the world stage. Whether it's science, rebellion, technology, or a little bit of Hollywood flair, July 6th has quietly carved out a fascinating spot in the timeline. Let's kick things off in 1415 when Czech religious reformer Jan Hus was burned at the stake for heresy. His calls to reform the Catholic Church made him a hero to some and a threat to others. His execution sparked outrage and led to the Hussite Wars, a series of battles that rocked Europe and planted the seeds for future reformations. Jump ahead to 1885, when Louis Pasteur successfully administered the first vaccine against rabies. He treated a young boy who'd been bitten by a rabbit dog. And it worked. That moment didn't just save the boy's life. It changed the future of medicine and helped establish vaccines as one of the greatest life-saving tools in history. In 1944, a deadly fire broke out at the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus in Hartford, Connecticut. The blaze killed over 160 people and injured hundreds more. It was one of the worst fire disasters in U.S. history and led to major reforms in safety standards for public events. Now here's a brighter note. In 1957, a 16-year-old named Paul McCartney met John Lennon for the very first time at a church fair in Liverpool. Lennon was performing with his band, the Quarrymen, and McCartney impressed him by tuning a guitar and playing a few songs. That meeting, it was the beginning of the Beatles. In 1887, King David Kalakaua of Hawaii was forced to sign what became known as the Bayonet Constitution. It stripped the Hawaiian monarchy of much of its power and handed political control to American and European elites in the islands. The event marked a major turning point in Hawaii's political future, one that would eventually lead to U.S. annexation. July 6, 1994, brought us the release of Forrest Gump, a film that blended heartfelt storytelling with a tour through some of America's most iconic historical moments. It made Tom Hanks a household name, again, and gave the world lines like, "Life is like a box of chocolates." Critics, fans, and box offices all agreed it was a hit. And in 2003, the world said goodbye to legendary actor Buddy Ebsen. Best known as Jed Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies and the original Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz before being recast, Ebsen left behind a career that spanned over 7 decades. That's a lot of stories told. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Back in 1950, the first ever broadcast of the BBC's Today's Weather aired on television. It may not sound like much now, but at the time, bringing weather forecasts to living rooms in real time was revolutionary. It turned the weather report into a national ritual, and sometimes a national obsession. In 1971, jazz legend Louis Armstrong passed away. Known for his gravelly voice and groundbreaking trumpet playing, Satchmo changed music forever. From What a Wonderful World to Hello, Dolly, his sound crossed genres and generations, and still makes people smile today. In 2013, Egypt swore in Adli Mansour as interim president after Mohamed Morsi was removed from power. It marked a pivotal moment in Egypt's turbulent post-Arab Spring journey, showing just how fast political tides can shift in a young democracy. Going way back to 1535, Sir Thomas More was executed in London for refusing to recognize King Henry VIII as the head of the Church of England. More was a scholar, statesman, and author of Utopia, and his death became one of the most famous examples of conscience versus crown. In 2009, the city of Los Angeles held a massive public memorial for Michael Jackson at the Staples Center. Millions tuned in from around the world to remember the King of Pop in a ceremony filled with music, tributes, and emotion. It was one of the most watched memorials in history. Back in 1942, Anne Frank and her family went into hiding in the secret annex behind her father's business in Amsterdam. Over the next 2 years, Anne would document her thoughts, fears, and hopes in a diary that would become one of the most powerful books of the 20th century. And in 1995, the American space shuttle Atlantis docked with the Russian space station Mir for the second time. These cooperative missions between former Cold War rivals were more than symbolic. They were the foundation for future international collaboration in space, including the International Space Station. That's what happened on 6th of July throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learn something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.